G'day guys and welcome back to this week's fishing report. Let's get straight into what's been biting around Sydney this week. There's been a lot of flathead being caught, and over the last couple of reports I've been saying similar things. There's been increasing catches of flathead being caught, particularly in our shallow water, in less than 3 meters of water, using soft plastics. It's a key indicator right now that spring is well and truly on its way, and the summer fishing is slowly going to be starting to heat up over the next month or two. Another really good key indicator is our kingfish. The kingfish have been going off, particularly in the Sydney Harbour around our piers. There's been some really nice catches of kingfish there, but also there's been some really nice kingfish in Botany Bay and Port Hacking. They've been a bit sporadic. It is very early in the season again to be able to catch the kingfish. They've been quite sporadic as of late, but using live bait, dropping them down into our deeper sections of our Botany Bay and Port Hacking where there's a bit of reef and a bit of structure about. If you can add a strong tide along with that, there's been some really nice kingfish being caught in Botany Bay and Port Hacking. Out offshore, there's been some nice snapper that's been pretty consistent. Again, we're heading towards the back end of our snapper season, what we would typically call our snapper season. Here off Sydney, you can catch snapper pretty much all year round, but the majority of the time where they're going to be really consistent and of really good size, we're starting to head towards the back end of that season. But in saying that, there's been some really nice fish caught again over the last week. Some nice fish caught on 5-inch style soft plastics inside 30 meters of water. What I've seen personally as well, apart from the reports that have been coming into me, I've seen that the snapper started to slowly head out into 25-30 meters and be more consistent at those depths rather than in shallow. The water temperature is still 16.5 degrees, so it's still in that wintry style of water temperature. Our water temperatures throughout winter range between 14 to 16. Out offshore, they've hugged around that 15.5, 16 degrees pretty much all winter, and it's only just moved half a degree, so they haven't moved too much. That's why they're still in shallow. Very early in the morning, you probably catch them in less than 20 meters, but I find that they're moving a bit quicker than normal out to those 30, 35, 40, 45 meters. So maybe something to think about going into this weekend. Speaking about this weekend, let's get it straight into the weather report for this weekend. Okay, so let's talk about the Saturday weather report. We've got a west to northwesterly breeze blowing quite strongly. That's been forecast at the moment. In excess of 30 kilometers an hour. So for me, Saturday morning's probably not going to look like the best time to be able to go out fishing, particularly on that day. The good things about that day, we have low swell. We also have a tide change at about 6:30 in the morning, right on sunrise. So again, it's going to make the morning bite really good if the wind doesn't kick up like it's predicted. So the morning could be a really good bite. It probably will be a wake up, have a look at the live wind charts. You can use Willy Weather for that. That's a really good one. If you go on the wind charts for Willy Weather, it actually shows you the live wind speed. It updates about every 10-15 minutes. So you can always check it 10 minutes later and see if it's still staying consistently at that speed, then make your decision as well. So please remember, these are predictions, not what actually might happen with the weather. The weather could change very quickly. As the afternoon goes on for Saturday, we've got some really nice wind dying off. So the wind's going to be dying off towards the back end of the afternoon. So for me, and what I'm thinking about doing, I'm probably going to go in the afternoon. Again, we've got a tide change around 3:30 and a moon set as well. Again, for Saturday afternoon, we've got a moon set at about 3 o'clock and then a tide change around sunset. It's probably a bit too far behind. It's probably about 7 o'clock. So will it impact the sunset? Yes, definitely. The tide will slow up around sunset, so it will have some kind of effect. It wouldn't have as much effect as if it was a 5:30 tide change. Just that extra hour might push that bite window a little bit further out. But the 3 o'clock moon set is a really good bite window to be able to go out and have a fish, particularly in the afternoon. For me, I guess the choice is mainly conditions based rather than tide changes and moon set based. The westerly or the northwesterly that's going to be blowing will be quite consistent throughout the day. Our westerlies traditionally around this time of year are quite consistent and will consistently blow at about 30-35 kilometers an hour if that's what's predicted. So you won't get much respite in that. And if you're going out, definitely head out to your westerly corners in the morning for the afternoon, for me, I'm going to head out to the shallow reefs if the wind is nice and down. If it's not, I'm going to head back into the river system, see what we can find, fishing some nice hard bodies and soft plastics along our breakwalls, because there's been some really, really nice bream being caught as well. I could also target some nice flathead in the afternoon. Let's just pan it out and see what we can do. But those are basically my options. If the weather's looking good, I'm going to head out in the afternoon and chase some snapper. If the wind's still up a little bit, I'm probably still going to head out and just head to our westerly corners of our systems. So it could be Warrenora River, any of the bridges along the Georges River, and then obviously the Ramsgate, Brighton Le Sands side of the bay as well in Botany. For Port Hacking, Southwest Arm, Northwest Arm, Yowie Bay, Gunnamatta Bay, Burraneer Bay are really, really good to be protected out of the westerly breeze. Again, fishing the structure in those areas will also help you increase your catch as well. Moving on to Sunday, again, similar to Saturday, we've got a northwesterly breeze blowing pretty much all day. The only difference is it seems to be a lot calmer, and it's predicted to be a lot calmer on Sunday morning than it is on Saturday morning. The swell is down, and again, we've got a moon rise, a tide change around sunrise, and we've got a moon set and a sunset in the afternoon with a tide change at about 7:30. So if we're going to pick morning or afternoon on Sunday, purely because the wind's down a bit more, I'm going to pick the morning fish. Now again, it is Father's Day on Sunday morning, so if you can't go out in the morning, and all the fathers out there, if you can't get out for a fish in the morning, the afternoon is going to be just as good as the morning as well. So my pick would be the morning, purely because you've got some nice swell about, and it's going to be really nice to be able to head out offshore and target a snapper. I'm still wanting to catch a 75 plus centimetre snapper, so I'm very, very much looking forward to being able to go out and see if I can't get a few more, particularly in shallow water on soft plastics, and see how we go in regards to that. If you're going to head into the river on Sunday, again, I'll be targeting our flathead, particularly on a run out tide. If we've got a run out tide, flathead will be the go. Again, in around that 3 metre mark. You don't have to protect yourself as much from the northwesterly on Sunday as you do on the Saturday. So your options are for the river. You definitely can target some flathead. They've been really consistent over the last couple of weeks, and particularly on the run out tide, you could expect to catch some really, really nice fish. Another fish to target is our bream and trevally on our hard bodies along the rocky foreshore line. So if you can find a nice rocky foreshore line with a nice deep drop off to about 4 to 6 meters, you're going to be catching some really nice bream and trevally in those areas. Just before we leave, I want to talk to you guys again about Reelcast. We have Reelcast coming up every week, where I interview different anglers each week about their angling career and the angling life. So far, we've had Sam by the Gills Gilchrist, a snapper specialist on the mid-north coast of New South Wales. We've got the infamous Steve Starlo Starling and Paul Worslinger's episode 2 and 3. They're all up there live, ready for you guys to watch. Again, if you search Reelcast on any podcast platform, you'll find the audio versions of that podcast. And if you search Reel Fishing, you'll find the audio and video versions of that podcast up on YouTube at Reel Fishing. Also, don't forget to go to Seven Seas Apparel. Today I'm wearing the beautiful t-shirt by Seven Seas Apparel. Don't forget to use code ReelFishing10 to save yourself 10% off anything Seven Seas, and it's just never too late to get yourself that Father's Day present. Even if it's a couple days late, I'm sure the fathers and dads out there wouldn't mind a lovely t-shirt by Seven Seas Apparel. And that's going to do it for this week's fishing report. Please let me know how you go on the weekend. It'll be great to hear some stories about the fish you have caught, and like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.